the show. Ta-da!
Let's get ready to work together.
Delay is not denial.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Faderera, and if this is your first time stopping by, welcome. If not, welcome back.
Without further ado, let's get into the 15 best things you need to do in your 20s. The first big one is just to live away from home. And I don't mean home in terms of like your childhood home or move out of your parents' house. That's obviously an amazing start, and this will require you to do that. I do mean more like live away from the city, the region, the town that feels like your place. Even if that place is New York City or Beijing or London or like one of the biggest cities in the world, there are still opportunities a place like that or any other place cannot offer you if it is the only place you remain. And not just career opportunities, but development opportunities, cultural opportunities, friendship opportunities. And some people, as we know, don't have the means, don't have the desire to do this. But if there is even a sliver of you that is unhappy where you are, and if there is even a small part of you that is thinking about whether there is more and whether you should do this, you absolutely should. There is totally more out there for you. And the fact that you are thinking about it shows that a part of you is obviously calling for that and is obviously slightly dissatisfied. The reason this is my number one on the list is because it is probably also one of the biggest pattern disruptors we can have in our 20s that we get to opt into voluntarily. All the other pattern disruptors or big life changes are sometimes not as kind to us. Sometimes they're things we don't choose. A pattern disruptor like this, like moving out of your hometown, moving overseas, it's something that just automatically is able to pull us away from our habits, pull us away from our regular way of being, our routine, pull us out of our boredom. And it's like this instant shift onto a new timeline. It's this instant shift into a new life. It breaks the habit of being yourself, the habit of being your old self. And it's truly incredible because of how much it is going to ask from you and how much it is going to stretch you and how much the world opens up. That is the beauty of
failure is an offshoot for success. So at one point in your life, you must meet it. And I said to them several, and I'm still saying to you, if you see a man's life that is straight from beginning to the end, it's a disaster going somewhere to happen.
I just think you owe it to yourself if you're thinking about moving overseas, thinking about living by yourself, thinking about moving out of your hometown. Like, you truly do owe it to yourself to see what's out there. You truly do owe it to yourself to realize that you've been gifted this huge, wonderful world, and hopefully you do get to see more of it than just the corner you were born into. Even if it's not permanent, even if you just have like a decade-defining adventure of traveling for 3 months, of working in a foreign country, volunteering in the middle of nowhere, it will just transform you as a person. It is essential to your development to put yourself in the hot water of having to adjust to a whole new way of being and a whole new life and just of like kind of being on your own. The second thing on the list, understand how money works and how it actually works like below the surface of basic concepts. One of my biggest regrets of my early 20s was that I just kind of assumed that the basics I'd been taught about money were correct and were all there was to know. And I think a lot of us probably had a similar education where you were taught about the importance of a savings account, a budget, an emergency fund, and that was probably like where the ball stopped, if it even got there. Basically, like, I remember being taught your money is either spent or saved. When you start to realize the possibility that money actually holds and how so many financial concepts and systems are being gatekept from you and keeping you dependent on a fixed income and the 9 to 5, like, you will be totally, honestly shocked and just like, yeah, gobsmacked. I remember having this realization, especially in university, because that was like the first time that I met really rich people, like really rich people for the first time who talked
Tonight, the outside.
about assets and investment properties and stocks, bonds, ETFs, high yield savings account, like all this lingo that had kind of like swirled around me, but I never really thought to learn about. And now, having really like made sure I know and made sure I educated myself, that is why this tip always makes any list I make about things to do in your 20s or regrets about my 20s. The best thing you can do for your future self right now is to spend 8 hours over the next week, over the next month, learning how money actually works, learning how investing works, learning how low the barrier for entry really is when it comes to like the stock market, or when it comes to bonds, or when it comes to investing. Even just like open up a trading account. You don't have to put any money in it. Open up like a high yield savings account. Just take the first step to being a part of the ecosystem, or being a part of the population who understands money beyond just the buy and save kind of mindset. And there's just so many amazing resources. Friends That Invest is one of my like favorite online resources to learn. Even just like going to your bank's webpage and looking up like how to invest. You'll know more than so many people, and it will definitely show. Okay, next on the list, learn how to send things back. More generally, I really mean like learn how to stick up for yourself. Now, when I say learn how to send things back, obviously I mean like learn how to send things back at the restaurant. Like if they get your order wrong, learn how to be like, that's not what I wanted, in a kind way. Learn how to be like, that's not what I asked for. Learn how to be like, that's not the behavior, or, you know, the thing that I deserve, the attitude that I deserve. More generally, I really mean at some stage in your 20s, you need to learn that being nice, being kind, being polite, and being respectful are not all the same thing. There's a lot of nuance to our good behavior, and there's a lot of people who benefit from us believing that being a kind person means we have to be passive, overly nice, overly self-effacing. It is really critical that during this decade, you start to unlearn that. For the first half of my 20s, I think I just kind of let people walk all over me. I would never send anything back at a restaurant. I would never complain about anything. I would never stand up for myself. And I just lost out on so much. And I just wasted so much money and time. And it only like changed very recently, actually, when I was in Australia and I was living at this house in Newtown. And it's like kind of a funny story, but there was just this one day where I had this neighbor who didn't like me very much and who I didn't get along with very well, who was kind of this older woman. And one day it was like 3 p.m. and we were like playing, I don't know, Charlie XCX. It was a beautiful sunny day. And she like came out and she just like let loose at me, and she was yelling at me. She was like, obviously had been very frustrated by me, and she was like, why are you playing music? We were like, well, it's 3 p.m. Anyways, long story short,
I got this gift from my sister, the Versace Woman Perfume, and this Ted Baker bag. I've wanted this bag since 2019, and this is 2026. So what? Delay is not denial. Delay is not denial. Look at my bag. Look at my perfume. These are the kind of things that makes me happy. Material things, consumerism. Look at it. Look at it. I don't want to spray it again. It smells so nice. No, definitely not spray it again, but it smells really nice. Just check TikTok if you want to see my reaction. This is a perfect gift for your mom, your sister, because my sister gifted me this. Now to the star of the show. Ta-da! Let's check what is in this bag.
Just this moment where I was like being really, really nice, being very apologetic. And then I kind of just was like, I don't really have to take this anymore. Like, I'm not a little kid. Like, I can't get in trouble. I'm not a child. Like, I can just stick up for myself. And it was so interesting, like seeing how her approach to me just like shifted in that moment, and seeing how I genuinely, this is going to sound so weird, but I felt like I became like an adult in that moment. And I could see her in her eyes, how she was viewing me as a child in the beginning. And then the moment that I like switched and stopped for myself, she started treating me as an adult. And I just think it's such an essential skill to just be like, actually, I don't deserve this. Actually, I don't. And my money and my wants and my needs and desires are just as important as anybody else.